Which edition of the VPAT should you choose? In a moment, I'm going to tell you what most of our clients go with. For now, let's go over the different editions. We have the WCAG edition. WCAG stands for the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. Then we have the Section 508 edition. This is the U.S. Federal Accessibility Standard, and it incorporates WCAG 2.0 Conformance Level AA. Then we have the EU or European Union edition. So this is connected to the EN 301549 Technical Accessibility Standard, and this spans the European Union's accessibility requirements for public procurement of ICT products and services, and this incorporates WCAG 2.1 Conformance Level AA. And then we have the INT or International Edition, and this is going to include all of the above editions. All right, so continuing on, you will select one edition to create an accessibility conformance report, and most accessible.org clients go with the WCAG edition of the VPAT. Now, if you have one specific buyer in mind, you should ask that buyer which edition of the VPAT do you want to see? So which edition do you require? And then where you are selling into general markets, so for general accessibility conformance reports, select the one that best matches your target market. Now, if your target market is very broad, then you'll likely want to go with the international edition of the VPAT because that is going to include all of the other editions. So really here, you can't lose. It's a little more expensive because it costs more to fill out all of these different editions. But with the INT edition, you are going to have all of the technical standards covered. All right, so some other considerations. You'll want to use the latest version of the edition that you choose. Now, that can seem somewhat confusing, but just know that the versions are going to be the different version numbers. So currently, the latest version is 2.5. Go with the latest version, and then you're just going to choose whatever edition you'd like. So let's say it's the WCAG edition of the VPAT, then you'll go with the WCAG edition version 2.5. Also, if hardware is included, then you won't solely use the WCAG edition of the VPAT because obviously with the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, these are for web assets and they can apply more broadly to digital assets. But if you've got hardware, you're going to need to go beyond just the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. So here you're going to look at other technical standards, and that is where we have Section 508, and then we have the EU edition in play. And so a lot of times clients can have a hybrid asset where you have both digital components and a hardware aspect to the asset. So if that is the case, then you may end up going with the INT edition of the VPAT. And as I've stated, WCAG covers digital assets. Now, WCAG doesn't apply perfectly to digital assets. So let's say you have a native mobile app. If that is the case, keep in mind that WCAG with the W, that stands for web. So the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines are for web assets. But where you are dealing with a non-web asset, then you can apply the principles from the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. You can apply those principles to the non-web digital assets. And the higher the WCAG standard, the more difficult conformance is. So it's understandable that you want to go with the current and present version of the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, which is version 2.2. But if you do so, understand that there are more success criteria that you'll potentially want to be conformant with. So if that is the case, it can be more difficult for full conformance. Also, the INT edition of the VPAT is going to take much longer to fill out because we are including all of the other editions. So it's going to cost more and more time is involved, but that's just another consideration. So that is going to do it for this video. This is one video in a series. I will include a link to the entire playlist of this series, which is VPAT Frequently Asked Questions. I will also include a link to a PDF. It is VPATs in plain English. This includes many of the common questions that we get from clients. This document is free to download. There is no email subscription required, so I will include a link to it as well as other resources to help you with your accessibility project. So that is going to do it for this video. We will continue on with the next.